want nobody. Want nobody. And I don't want nobody. You got that right. And I don't want nobody. I lost. Want nobody. And I don't want nobody. Girl, never need. You got that right. And I don't want nobody. I lost. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's. And I don't want nobody. Girl, extra work for you. You got that right. The iron arm. And I don't want nobody. Ice drop. I lost. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's. And I don't want nobody. Girl, extra work for you. I was dancing. I get close. And I don't want nobody. Mother make them ice. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's. And I don't want nobody. Girl, extra work for you. You got that right. Vivian. And I don't want nobody. Mother make them ice. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's. And I don't want. Girl, extra work for you. Got that right. Ooh. But I'm girl. But I'm walking to my car. But I'm best of oh, young, you must run. But I'm everybody oh, young, you must run. Got that right. Got that right. Got that right. Oh, young, want nobody. The Peacock is proud to present music from Hawaii. Not you, fool. Other make the ice. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's what if I don't? Not you, fool. Girl, extra work for you. You got that right. I get close, so want nobody. Other make them out. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's ice, just hop on my extra work for you. One girl, got that right. Not you, fool. Other make them ice. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's what if I don't? Just hop on my extra work for you. You got that right. I get close, so want nobody. Other make them out. Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if that's ice, and I don't want. What if I don't? Extra work for you. One girl, got that right.
True as it can be. Then I even felt that somebody passed unexpectedly.
Started off with butterflies every single time I gave you roses and kisses, you put me in the line. But then I turned into a beast, I started going wild. And now I'm sitting while I watch you walking down the aisle. White dresses and butterflies, my stomach turning. I try to manage my emotion, but my heart is burning. I stand slowly to get up so I can leave quick. But wait a second, I'm the one that you should be with. I turn around, I look at you, but then I see you stop. You turn around, I look at me, and then my heart drops. I'm looking deep into your eyes, and I just think you know I ain't the only one that never really let it go. You drop your flowers and run to the exit, tears falling. I quickly follow you outside while the rain's storming. I grab your wrist and then I ask you why you didn't stay. You look me deep into the eyes and then I heard you say,
then I even felt that somebody passed unexpectedly. Then I even felt that somebody passed unexpectedly. And I'm sweet and strange, finding you in shade, finding you wrong. And I'm sweet and strange, finding you in shade, finding you wrong. Beauty and
the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murder scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive, selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? Apple face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy weird sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. Real such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stare your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stare your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims, oh they're so good, oh they're so sweet.
Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any America first. America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first.
Under the shadow of the new Praetorian.
Well, I mean, my gracious, I was abandoned today. All of my friends are gone, and there's no one here for me. Oh, did y'all not see the intro? Did I just do all that and I realized it was on screen share instead of using bloody XSplit like I was supposed to? Well, you know what? Watch this. I got to practice this anyway, man. And this is only a solid group here today, right now, at this moment. So I'm going to use that opportunity for my friends to be here to actually try something real quick right here. Check this out, man. Let's see if this works. Boom, yeah.
Under the shadow of the new Praetorian.
Well, I'm guessing from the comment that I just got there about the loyal few that everybody can hear me. I'm moving windows around right now. I'm not even kidding. I mean, you know, I'm not bitching. I am bitching, but I want you to hear me for a second. You know, I was moving windows around while I was doing that because I got to have XSplit now is above the Hangouts. And if I click on the white spot, I can see me now in the Hangouts. I can make side chats in the Hangout. Now I'm looking at y'all out here in the chat. I can make a chat right now. I can most say make a chat right now. MAKEACHT now. Ha 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 ha. LOLZ, right? And then I did that. And so, I mean, then I can do this with XSplit. Now that XSplit's up over here, I can go, bam. Now look at that, folks. What do y'all think about this stuff up over here? But then if I want you to hear it, I have to go back to Hangouts, click this button, and then do this. Now you won't be able to hear me talking there for a second. You couldn't hear a damn thing I said. But if I wanted to, while I did that, I would be able to play that video that you just saw. that was up there. TED Talks with Bill Gates. And I said Bill Gates. So that brings me down to the serious stuff, I guess, very quickly. I wanted to keep playing music, you know, I really did. I wanted to just laugh and joke. TheBritisher and I are talking today, and for those of you that are here that see us ding-donging back and forth on Twitter, look, we're really good mates. It's got nothing to do with that, how good of friends we are. It doesn't matter. There's still things he says I disagree with, for sure. Still, everything I say he disagrees with, everything. I can't say a bloody thing. I can't come up with one solitary bloody idea, and he's not like, really, Mr. Ogre? Do you expect me to believe you can come up with one solitary, unique idea, sir? Balderdash. We'll do it my way. We'll consider this a fair and equitable trade. We'll do it my way. And I'm not saying, I don't know if all the British people are that way, but my partner just happens to be. I mean, he's kind of he's tough. He's tough. I'm not saying he's bad or he's a jerk. He's definitely not a jerk. But I'm just saying he is tough. He is, you know, he's tough. He's straightforward. What he feels is right is right. But I did notice, I don't know if y'all noticed, I see no one here with me today. I've put the Ogre signal out to to 3 people today. And maybe one will join. If they do, when I finally get there, because I just keep going back to the ha ha ha, right? It's like I just want to have fun. I just want to laugh. I just want to laugh. I just want to freaking laugh. I just want to live my life and laugh. Unfortunately, you know, I've looked into some things in my life. I will put this in the category that I'm talking about, although it's on the extreme side of the category. I've looked into flat Earth. And once you go out doing some of these experiments, I mean, it does make a person ask themselves, is this, you know, is there anything that could be feasible from this? But what we're going to talk about today, it's beyond flat Earth. It's not, is it feasible? You have the human beings here telling you what they want to do. And today is a primer. It's a primer. For you folks, this is a soliloquy and an opinion. But to do my best by TheBritisher, all of my friends, all of you, the ones that agree with me and the ones that disagree with me, I am going to take some time and compile a well done, backed up by citations, why I am thinking that there's something going on. That Antifa is not just some kind of grassroots movement that sprung up overnight, that consists of a bunch of liberals that got together, decided that they haven't used forceful enough tactics in the past, and now they're going to bust ass. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe that they can't just look and see. I know they're grainy and they're black and white. I'm sorry I didn't take the pictures. I can't go back in time and invent color photos. But Mussolini, Kristallnacht, the Night of the Long Swords, all of that. It's just, I mean, you look at Mussolini and you look at Hitler, not so much Hirohito in Japan. They were just, I mean, Japan has always been isolados, they are, is what we call it. Isolated, islanders, isolados. And even though Japan is close to the land, very much isolated. Listen, today I'm going to tell you, this will not be as best I can, so I don't want to lie. I did this in the last hour and a half, not even 45 minutes, while listening to music and kind of half-ass chatted to the people that were waiting in the chat. I started compiling what I was going to do today. So we're talking about, I've got 45 minutes, an hour wrapped up into this, but it is working on already active knowledge. I say respectfully now, Brett, listen, of course, man, you need evidence. I can't just stand here and say, you know, blah, blah, blah with no evidence. And Britisher, I appreciate that, yes, there was a paranoid, schizophrenic young man, 20 years old, that took his Dodge and ran it into some people. I feel horrible saying it that way because I do have a bias in this. Do you want me to say I don't have a bias? I won't. But Britisher, the rest of y'all, everybody here, humanity, we all have biases. We all have prejudices. We all do. We all prejudge. We all have our own bubble. We all have it. We don't have to get butthurt over it, but here we go. Antifa's a horrible thing, but oh man, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to start out with this little piece right here. It's 2 minutes and 52 seconds long, but I highly doubt I'll let it play anywhere near that. But I did run across this today. I noticed that I didn't run across it today. I just noticed that Bill Gates, he's been talking this kind of stuff for a long, long time. He's not fooling around. In this particular video, it even says right here, Bill Gates says reduce population 4 times. 4 times. Don't tell me he misspoke. If you want to, go ask Bill. Go ask Ted Turner. These people will tell you they have an agenda. Well, let's hear this little snippet from Bill Gates, if you will. It's hard for me to muster up gentlemen when I'm talking about Bill Gates, but let's listen to this.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Y'all didn't hear that? He said lower it, man. He said lower it.
Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
All right, man. Like I said, I could keep going on this particular one video, but you know, I'm one guy here running all the changes of shots and whatever else. Unless I'll quit kissing my butt. Just assume that I'm the one doing it today while it's happening. He said, if we continue our good work on vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services such as Planned Parenthood, state-sanctioned and paid-for abortions, well, we could bring that number down. Did anybody mishear that? Tell me in the chat if you misheard it. Because I'm going to joke through this, but this is serious. We can keep our head in the sand, or we can look at this stuff. Call me Alex Jones if you want. I don't care. Give me Alex Jones's money, and then call me Alex Jones, and I'll be fine with it. Till then, I'll just stand on my tiny soapbox today and show you all this. This is no joke. This is real. This is real stuff. Oh, so let me tell you about this guy right here. This is Aleister Crowley. Changed his name to Aleister because I believe his name was William. He didn't want anybody calling him William Crowley or Bill Crowley. He wanted Aleister Crowley because that's a dactyl and a spondy. Dactyl and a spondy. Aleister. Dactyl's a fancy way to say it's got 3 consonants in his first name. Dactyl. Aleister Crowley. Crowley, a spondy. It's a dactyl. You see, three consonants. Keep up with me too, folks, because I don't have a lot of time. Dactyl and a spondy. Aleister. It's dactyl because it's 3 consonants. Crowley. Crowley is poetical sounding. That's a spondy. It's a last name that sounds poetical. You can look all of this stuff up. So he has a dactyl and a spondy. Aleister Crowley. You know, this isn't Bill Jones, Thomas Henderson, you know. This is Aleister Crowley. I could take some time and draw some connections to other famous people's names that have done the same thing, but right now, just for sake of time, I'm not gonna. This guy wrote a book called Magic. Says that his wife met Horus. At first, his wife met these people. Look, and I'm telling you this, not like it's true. This is what they say. They say. Aleister Crowley said that shortly after his first homosexual experience, he was contacted by the first of many demonic contacts. Demonic, I don't know what they are. I don't know what it was. Mental, I have no idea. That's what he said. I'm not going to say that many more times. I'm telling you about these people. They say. And so after Aleister Crowley met this supernatural being, allegedly, he learned magic. a book he wrote, talked about reading and writing backwards, doing everything backwards. If you learn to walk backwards, talk backwards, read the Bible backwards, books backwards, everything backwards. And he tells you, I can't go into much time on this. Manly P. Hall came really short on his heels. This is Manly P. Hall. He wrote a book called Masters of the Mysteries. And I mean, listen, I'm telling you, folks, I can't just sit here and go through every single one of these with a fine-tooth comb today. If it seems interesting, I'll go through them happily. But it would have to be, I mean, I'm trying to take I don't want to say a master's class, but I'm trying to take an introduction to psychology, let's say, so something like that, philosophy, and condense it down this topic in 2 hours. It's going to be difficult for me. But Manly P. Hall, he did write Master of the Mysteries. He wrote right on Crowley's coattails. We say, well, there's nothing in backwards masking. I'm not going to tell you it's from the devil or from Jesus or not like that. No. But is there something to it? They say they wanted to teach musicians to do this magician's work. So did it happen? I don't know. They say that they wanted it to happen, and they did get it to happen. So this is Manly P. Hall, another one for y'all to look at. Now listen, we're tearing down all of these statues, Captain Colepile, left and right, statue, statue, statue. Robert E. Lee's got to go. Next thing you know, Abraham Lincoln. They took down Lenin's statue out there in Seattle. I don't think they should be taking down any of them. But here's the fact right here, is that Morals and Dogmas was written by Albert Pike, a general in the Civil War for the South. His statue stands in Washington, D.C. Albert Pike. I would bet anyone here, I will bet today, if you contact me, $500 that says this statue will never even be spoken of by the mainstream media to be taken down in the next 5 years, 10 years, 10 years. I mean that. It won't happen because Albert Pike wrote Morals and Dogma. Look, I should have had Adam Weishaupt first. I won't even deny that. I should have had these turned around. I'm telling you, I had a very short time. And if you see all these tabs up here, which I'm not sure that you can see, but if you could see all these tabs up here, you would see that I'm got a lot of stuff lined up. But Albert Pike, yeah, he was a Southern general in the Civil War, and his statue stands in Washington, D.C. They won't take it down because he wrote this book. Correlation doesn't show causation, but whenever I can thread all this through, which, like I said, Adam Weishaupt, the founder of the Illuminati, should have been first. Adam Weishaupt. If you go to the Hilton in Chicago on the Miracle Mile, then you will see this likeness hanging on the wall in the bar in the basement. There's, I wish I could remember off the top of my head the name of that bar, but I've been there. I've looked at the picture. You see a picture of Adam Weishaupt hanging there. No name or anything, just this likeness right here of Adam Weishaupt. He's the founder of the Bavarian Illuminati. He's the one that came up with the idea to infest Oddfellows and Masons with this Illuminatist idea. Why do I mention Manly P. Hall and Aleister Crowley? Because I'm going to make some points later, and I want everyone to see that these people all cite each other's works. They all agree with each other, and they all have something in common. They're Illuminatists. What is illuminated? Illuminate, oh, it just means to be lightened, right? Well, I should have gotten some of that up, and I will later. And it's easy to find out. Lucite. Doesn't that sound like someone we know? Illuminated. Luminescence. There was a being that allegedly lived a long time ago that used a name very similar to that. So you have Adam Weishaupt, ran out of Bavaria, ran out of Prussia because of his, when they started reading his works, and they realized that this was something serious, that they were trying to get together as they do in Bohemian Grove where their motto is "Weaving spiders come not here." You gotta be kidding me, man. I could go into it. For those of you that don't know, "Weaving spiders come not here" comes from a mortal that was telling a god that they could weave better than them, and the god turned them into a spider, and they had to toil at weaving forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And that means basically "weaving spiders come not here" means we don't want to talk about work while we're here. Yet, who is this right here? That's Harvey Hancock at Bohemian Grove. Apparently, that's Mark Twain has been there. All kinds of people have gone to this strange, and these pictures are old, have gone to this strange ritual out in the woods. You know, "O owl of Bohemia, we beseech thee once again this night." They go there because they want to take away the care of the year. They want to quash and destroy and ruin and forget about whatever it was they had to do to further themselves, their friends, and their agenda through that year. It's called the cremation of care. It's an ancient Babylonian ritual. It's an ancient Canaanite. The Canaanites, the Babylonians, it's a Luciferian ritual now. And I'm going to keep saying Luciferian. That's right, folks. As it says right here, Bohemian Club's motto, "Weaving spiders come not here." All I did was type in "weaving spiders come not here." It's all I did in Google. Bohemian Club's motto, "Weaving spiders come not here," implies that the club, and the Grove even more so, is not a place for business or networking. Yet, as I go through these pictures, you can see fireside chats. These people are at the, this is where they have all the people sit. Actually, that's the Owl of Bohemia. But they do the fireside chat down here a little bit, I believe, south of this location. And Bushes both have spoken there that we know of. Prescott Bush has spoken there. Everybody, Ronald Reagan, they talk there on the podium, not here, but down the river a little bit further. This is where they actually, you can see the owl right there, right? Everybody can see that owl? Everybody can see that? See the owl right there. No fire, no fire. Alex Jones busted this out. I don't care if you like him or not. He blew it wide open. We know what they do in there. So all this nonsense about "weaving spiders come not here," that's just what it is. Nonsense. That's all they do in there is talk about business, get drunk, hump each other, hump the girls they send in there, hump the boys they send in there, and do their strange and odd rituals. Would I go? Somebody asked me in the chat if you wonder, would I go? If you think I would go, press 1. If you think that the Ogre wouldn't go to Bohemian Grove, press 2. And I don't mean undercover. I mean go there to participate. We also know one other thing about the Bohemian Grove in particular. I could go into Skull and Bones, and like I said, I go to a bunch of stuff. Just time is limited. The patron saint of the Bohemian Grove is Saint John of Nepomuk. Apparently, while Saint John of Nepomuk was working as the vicar, he took the confessions of the king's wife. And while he took those confessions, of course, she told him everything. So the king was very curious about whether or not the queen was fooling around on him. And he never did find out because he asked the priest, and the priest was like, "I will not tell, not going to say one way or the other." He wouldn't even give, if you look into this mythos, he wouldn't even give a hint of what happened. Didn't even, no hint whatsoever. Well, I can't talk about it. That was it. The king had him slain. And so they used this as their, there's a huge statue with St. John of Nepomuk standing there saying, "No, I won't give it up." He's the patron saint of kept secrets. That's no joke. The patron saint of kept secrets. Now, look, I'm going to jam you way into the future now, because who knows what the Georgia Guidestones are? Does anybody out there know what they're? Anybody ever heard of the Georgia Guidestones? And yeah, let me see. We got ones. What did one mean? That I would go? If you thought or if you typed that I would go, you were absolutely correct. I would go to Bohemian Grove, man. I would spend the whole week there. I'd camp out in the redwoods. I would go to their cremation of care and all whatever else they did. I would go. Why? Because all that theatrical stuff is not only appealing to me, but I would like to. Yeah, and I know there's not many people here, but if you haven't been able to tell, I'm somewhat of a social butterfly. I'd be fine there, but I would like to be able to speak to the people there and kind of get a better feel for what's going on in your average Grover's mind. But I think there's a 15-year waiting list, so I'm probably not going to the Grove anytime soon, folks. I'm so sorry. But now we're at the Georgia Guidestones. So we have these people. If we look back very quickly, we have Aleister Crowley, walk backwards, think backwards, say backwards. That Manly P. Hall, one of his disciples that wrote Masters of the Mysteries, ancient mystery religions and the conjuring of their power. Adam Weishaupt, the founder of the Illuminati, the Bavarian Illuminati. All of these things are ushering in this Illuminati, this illuminated one, this one that they say, look, they say, too, can't stress enough, they say this is what they want. I mean, you could believe in the Bible and you could like an evangelist and this system of evangelism that's came down through the whoever, the Presbyterians aren't much for evangelism, but let's say the Seventh-day Adventists or the Mormons, they evangelize. You don't have to agree with what they say, but you can look back and see their history. That's all we're doing. And all of these people say they're Illuminatis or, big news, Satanists. Morals and Dogma, written by Albert Pike, Southern general, still has his statue up. We have the Bohemian Grove. Weaving Spiders come out here, a bunch of BS. They always talk about their business, but they have this patron saint of kept secrets, John of Nepomuk, and they have this thing where they're all together. So what's it all about, right? I mean, come on, right here. It says in the Georgia Guidestones, their 10 commandments, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. It, honest to God, is the time machine. And we are not the Morlocks. The Morlocks are those we're against. I'm not David Icke or even near into his territory. I'm not going to tell you that the moon is hollow and aliens are coming from the moon to devour your brain and take over your world. I'm not going to tell you that. But I'm going to tell you that this group of people, they're there. They do have funding from George Soros. They do use Antifa. Let me show you something else really quickly before I just go on and have a good time and tell you what I just think. So I've showed you just some things you can look into. I think everyone can agree right now that I haven't just jammed anything down anybody's throat. I've just showed you some things you can look into. Now, this is actually from ThoughtCo. This is just straight up theories of sociology. That's all this is. This is not debatable. It is what the theory is. You can debate whether or not it's good or bad. But here's conflict theory. Conflict theory emphasizes the role of coercion and power in producing social order. This perspective is derived from the works of Karl Marx. Please listen carefully. Conflict theory emphasizes the role of coercion and power in producing social order. The perspective is derived from the works of Karl Marx, who saw society as fragmented into groups that compete for social and economic resources. Social, you're black, you're downtrodden. Economic, you're poor, Occupy Wall Street. Social order is maintained by domination, with power in the hands of those with the greatest political, economic, and social resources. And you can see there that it says more. If anybody cares to have them, I'd be more than happy to put the links in the thing later date. Oh, and yeah, I'm so into this. Anybody that may be waiting a link, let me do this and not break my concentration for just a second more. So we can see there are Illuminatis, this pyramid, if you will, this pyramidical shaped empire. Right now, Antifa is being used in the fashion of conflict theory. I could sit, I won't name any names right now, Britisher, but I could sit, put my head in the sand and say, I haven't had enough proof, or I could look into it, see what people did before, so recent as Italy and Germany, and see that Antifa is nothing but a fascist. Faggot, fascist, same thing. It's a bundle of sticks. One stick can be broken. Many sticks can be put together in a group. You have a fascist. You have a faggot. You have a faggot of sticks. I know there's a pun there, but it's not funny. You have a fascist bundle of these people. And it doesn't matter. We can joke about, oh, they throw punches. Yes, they throw punches like girls. But if all of them are throwing those girl punches at you, they'll beat you to death. We can point to, oh, my goodness, there was one paranoid schizophrenic young man, 20 years old, that drove a car into a group of people after a hectic day. We sure can. One. In the small. If they wouldn't have been, oh, I'm not going to go there and place blame for the person running the car. But how many beaten people equal the dead person? How many times does Antifa need to march down the streets, 30,000 strong as they did in Boston, and intimidate the entire world over 5 people in the park saying that they want to have free speech? Before we'll see that this is the Illuminati. And what they say is that they worship Lucifer, who was wronged in heaven, and that God is lying, and that the fact of the matter is we should all follow Lucifer. I don't believe that for a minute. They point to, and you can ask these folks that are Masons. I have. Well, what about, you know, God is so, well, he killed every man, woman, and child in the flood. They believe, these people believe the flood happened. They believe in God, the God, the Judeo-Christian God, that mythos. They believe in that. They just believe that Lucifer, what we would consider as, you know, Judaic Christians, the devil, Satan, they call him Lucifer, the light bearer, the luminescent one, the one that illuminates and brings understanding. And one of the understandings he's brought to these people, from Bill Gates to Ted Turner, the Virgin guy, the Virgin Mobile, Virgin Air guy, Branson, that we don't need to have more than 500 million people. Well, guess what? They want to be some of those. I could have got some things ready, but there's lots. You can easily see that there's lots of videos that show Ted Turner saying about how there should be a one-child policy in this country, but he has 7 children, I believe, 8 children. I can't remember which one it is. You know. And here's the facts. There is, whether you like, the truth is the truth, whether you like it or not. And here's the truth. There is a cabal right now that is looking to take over the world. What's the end game? Throwing babies off pyramids. What's the end game? In the Aztecs, they chopped people up and ate them. What's the end game? In Babylon, they threw people off pyramids. They also made their children walk before the fire of Moloch, Bohemian Grove. They did. What's the end game? It's these people running the world under a Luciferian regime. It doesn't matter if you believe in God or Lucifer or not. All you got to do is look at all the people I just mentioned and see that the Bushes are connected with them through Skull and Bones and Yale. They're all connected. That's why the barrage against Trump. The guy that's Newt Gingrich, who now supports him and stands up for him, was one of the ones that said, oh, Trump will never be president because he hasn't taken any of the oaths. He's not been in any of the secret societies or clubs. He said this before the election. And once he was elected, Newt kind of backed him. And I don't know if I love Newt or not, but it did make me like him more because he stuck with him even though he hadn't taken the oaths and been in the secret societies. You know, Britisher, to his credit, he'll stand up for David Cameron and be like, well, it was really, Mr. Ogre, it was a disgruntled lord, defamed lord that stood up against him, sir. There was no validity to that, just a memoir by a disgruntled lord. Well, Britisher, I'm not sure if that's all it was, mate. Not positive. I think David Cameron humped a pig skull in front of everybody so that everybody knew it and they'd have that against him. That's what I think. Does that make me crazy? Yeah, I don't know. I'm crazy anyway. It doesn't take that. So I hope I left you with enough information. I'm going to step out for a minute, which means you all get to hear some more music. Music? Any requests, because I'm here alone today, so I'll be taking a break about every 35, 40 minutes to just stretch my legs. You know, I mean, it's not, I don't know who thinks it is, but you think about Glenn Beck, I don't care if you like him or not, Rush Limbaugh, I don't care if you like him or not, Lionel Nation, don't care if you like him or not, all these folks that, you know, constantly talking on radio shows and whatnot. It's not easy. It's very hard on your voice. You think, well, I talk to people all the time. Yes, but they talk too. So you cut that time in half unless you're a dick and you talk all the time. And then, you know, you take breaks. It's different than talking into a microphone or preaching or something like that. So I may come back with a song, if that's what you're saying. If y'all want Ogre to play a song, I'll look back at it. Press 5 if you want me to play a song before the stream's over. And if that's the case, I'm sure that I can undoubtedly do that. I'm sure I can hook that up. You know what I mean? But until then, let me look here. Let me see what I got in my quiver. I'm going to look at show music. I got a whole thing here. It's just like for show music. Yeah, but I got to set it up, folks. So let me do this. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to do some bong swats. Man, I see 5s already. I will play y'all a song too. Sure appreciate it. Matt, first ranker, Wood, sure appreciate it. I'll play y'all a song. It will undoubtedly be either the Moldy Peaches or the Mountain Goats. So if you want the Moldy Peaches, give me an M. And if you want the Mountain Goats, give me a G. You like that? And if not, if I don't get anything, I'll pick my own. So here we go, folks. Enjoy this tune. This is Golly Music. You can find him pretty easily. Golly Music. And this is a song called Conspiracy. At least one tune will play, and maybe, at least one tune, and maybe 2. So here we go.
Politicians doing great, just be patient, have faith. Global warming so real, to the top gasoline.
So true.
So true.
Found me.
Many fingers pointing me, yelling just conspiracy. And I'm just out of box, little scientific box. At the end I wanna say, we just need to sit and pray. Hit me like a rocky, true, don't be no monkey. It's not logical, oceans on the ball. Staring like a moon in my ancient balloon overseas. Magical gravity. Welcome to the hood. Reality of Hollywood. Welcome to the hood. Reality of Hollywood. The biggest crime is in a bank. Call it just a money prank. But these men walking still free. Folks are calling misery.
So true.
So true.
Only you.
world is acting very strange, falling out of sun rain, building towns of concrete, kicking nature to defeat. At the end I wanna say, we just need to sit and pray. Hit me like a rocky, true to being a monkey. It's not logical, oceans on a ball, staring like a baboon in my aging balloon flying over the sea. Magic over gravity, welcome to the hood. Reality of money world, welcome to the hood. Reality of money world. So true, yeah, only you. From a monkeys to the space, call it just a human race. Kids are dying from disease, on the bottom of the list. At the end I wanna say, we just need to sit and pray. Hit me like a rocky, true to being a monkey. It's not logical, oceans on the ball, staring like baboon in my aging balloon over the sea. Magic over gravity, welcome to the hood. Reality of money world, welcome to the hood. Reality of money world. Welcome to the hood. Welcome to the hood. Reality of money world.
Ah, first ranker. Wow, yeah.
Just say, baby, more than I can do. Mr. Tyson, honey, I'm gonna beat his ass for you. I'm so crazy when you are not around. I'm a wizard, honey, I can make the world not be so round. 'Cause I feel so good, the reason is you. I get you, lady, oh, it's so true. I feel so fine, like ocean blue. Ooh, 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 ooh. So won't you give me a lovin'? So good. Give me a feeling. So good. Give me a lovin'. You're the magic. Give me all your love. So won't you give me a lovin'? So good. Give me a feeling. So good. Give me a lovin'. You're the magic. Give me all your love. You're so fine, babe. I need something new. Mr. Charlie's on there, he will never cheat on you. I'm like fire, music without a tune. You can be the first, babe, I can get you to the moon. 'Cause I feel so new, the reason is you. I get you, lady, oh yes I do. I feel so fine, like ocean blue. Ooh, 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 ooh. So won't you give me a lovin'? Give me a feeling. Give me a lovin'. You're the magic. Give me all your love. So won't you give me a lovin'? So won't you give me a feeling? So won't you give me a lovin'? You're the magic. Give me all
Yeah, and that was Give Me Your Lovin' by Golly Music. I really do like that dude. I can't say band because he's not a band. It's just a dude that has a YouTube channel. I think he does everything that you hear. So it's either him playing an instrument or doing something electronic or bringing samples in. It's definitely his vocals. He's not American. He's got a very heavy, sounds like probably Italian to me. But boys, that's not why we're here today. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Ogre. Am I
Pops and
coming
go do
okay?
different things. I think I'm on though. But the reason I'm here today is because I did want to express what I've learned about this group of people that consider themselves Illuminatists, Luciferians, a lot of the case Masons and whatnot, and how they might be trying to affect the earth. And if not, because the questions asked of me today, why would George Soros do this? I don't know. I mean, I can't answer that. I would say he's one of them. He's obviously one of the New World Order Illuminatists that would like to see the, because how could you get population down really easy? Horrific war. So anyway, that's why we're here today, boys. I don't know if y'all can hear me or if you're here. Or y'all hear that?
Yep.
Yep, I heard it.
Well, first,
Let me see if I got it. Oh, yeah, I've got sound. I just checked it on the feed. Well, anyway, so what I do is I've got two co-hosts that are doing nothing to forward the show. And they were, and people wonder, it's like, so why do you and the Brit stay together? And how come the Common Sense guy is like always there? But well, other than days like today, when both of them conveniently get ill, both of the British boys are ill conveniently on the same day, whatever it is. They're not ill either. I don't know what they are. I think they both had like life issues. And here I am, trying to just muddle through. I'm so used to falling back on these boys. And I guess I've gotten to the point now where I'm going to ramble for a minute to even, this is my way of rambling until one of you motherfuckers says, boo.
boo.
Or hi. Or I got it, Ogre. Let me say something. Or your mama wears combat boots. Or your mama's so fat she got a kickstand. Or
Your mama's
so fat when she broke her leg, gravy poured out. Or your mama's so fat she's like a scooter. She's fun to ride till the boys see you on her. Or, no more mama jokes. I guess they can't hear. I mean, by now, I guess even in jokes and jest, I'd have another mama joke back at me. And I don't want to bring the level of intelligence all the way down to there, do I? Do I want to do that? Well, I don't know. So where should we start? Where should we start expanding? I had some ideas about what I'm going to do later as far as playing a tune, and I will play a tune. But where should we start in this, unpacking this whole deal? I guess I could say a little bit about Aleister Crowley. When you think about magic, a book he wrote, he talked about, I already mentioned it, you should do everything backwards, read backwards, write backwards, walk backwards. I mean, think about when Michael Jackson came out and the big thing dropped, man. What was it? Big thing dropped in 1984. It might have been 82. I might have been 8, not 10. The moonwalk, man. Come out. And he was doing a moonwalk. Well, I don't know. Is that coincidence? I doubt it. When we got all these people all through the whole deal, because I already showed y'all a little something. Let me see if I still got it up. I showed y'all a little something about conflict theory, if I remember correctly. No, I don't know. Yeah, right here. Conflict theory. We talked about that for a second. Well, there's also something called symbolic interaction theory. I would have called it symbolicism, believe it or not. That's what I would have called it back in the day, but it's symbolic interaction theory. And it says the symbolic interaction perspective, also called symbolic interactionism, is a major framework of sociology sociological theory. This perspective focuses on the symbolic meaning that people develop and rely upon in the process of social interactions. I could go to more here. Y'all can too. Any of this stuff. Anybody wants this stuff. It's all in my favorites. I can give y'all anything that you want. Because it shows kids smoking. See what I mean? Because when you think about symbolic interactionism, you think about Joe Camel's nose looking like a penis. Sorry, folks. Sorry. Is that conspiracy theory too? Way back in the day, there was a character called Joe Camel. And at first, everybody was up in arms. And this is just off the top of my head. This goes with symbolic interactionism, though. But when everybody was up in arms because, oh, they got a cartoon character aiming it at the children. But the fact of the matter was, it wasn't so much that it was a cartoon character. If you looked at the front of the camel's nose, it was a penis, and his jowls were balls. It was a penis and balls there, but just right there. I mean, and Camel's been famous for that, but it's not just that. They love ice cubes. I mean, Pepsi-Cola wrote sex in some ice cubes historically. They took their cans if you lined them up. They had this drive with these special cans. If you set them on top of each other, man, they spelled sex. Yes, you had to turn them right, but come on. You think that's, there's pictures in their advertising where they had them turned that way. Give me a break.
Well, over here in
the
I'm not sure if I'm coming.
Is this part of it? Well, I would say that Walt Disney was a 33rd degree Mason. He wasn't an Illuminatist Mason, illuminated Mason. He really was. I mean, there's just no way around it. He was. And I don't know, British and I go, where's the proof? He said he was. What more do you want? I mean, if you say you are, it's like, where's the proof, George Soros? Well, if you get the right documentary or snippet where he had a moment of weakness or just was feeling pompous, and he tells you what he's doing. I sent a couple of them out on Twitter today with George Soros. George Soros is one of them. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt if he's funded Media Matters. Yeah. Media Matters tells you he's funding them. David Brock and all that ilk. There's no doubt if he's funding BLM, to tell you. Antifa, just photos of them storming one of his buildings and screaming. They're not going to, if you don't pay up what they want, he's already made a monster he will have to reckon with. And let's face it, these people never make out well, these George Soroses. Not thinking maybe he is. Hitler's and the real ones, not Donald Trump, who's a great president. Not even David Cameron, who was maybe not a great prime minister, but he is what he is. I don't know what he is. Because even George W., they might be into, but these figureheads they put up, they're not the real ones, folks. They are not the real ones. The real ones are the ones that are do or die, dagnab, Satanists all the way, hardcore balls to the wall Luciferians. I don't, and how do you know once you incite that, Ogre? Well, I'm trying to cite it. The truth is, they tell you. I don't have to. I mean, it's just what it is. John Podesta, anybody doubt? Spirit cooking and whatnot. That's Morena Blavatsky. That's Manly P. Hall. I had Manly P. Hall today. I didn't get Morena Blavatsky because I can't spell her freaking bloody name. I tried too. I was like, Morena Blavatsky and Satanism and stuff. I couldn't even find her because my spelling's so horrible. Google didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And I don't think that was a conspiracy either. Like, well, they were trying to keep you from finding her. Nah, I just think my spelling's freaking horrid, man. Should be shot. Oh, let's see what we got here. Oh, thank you so much, Plowsphere. That's very kind of you to say. Let me see what we got. There was cigarette commercials on the Flintstones way back in the day. Barney, because Barney actually, Fred goes to Barney. Is like, hey man, I'm sorry. Barney goes to Fred, says, "Oh man, watching these girls make work makes me feel a little bad." And Fred's like, "Yeah, let's go around back where we can't see them." And when they get out back, Fred's got a freaking pack of daggone Winstons. Like that was Winston. And if you watch the commercials, man, Barney's sitting there in his cigarette. In reality, if it was the same, if it was like it would be like this big. We got a big ass dagnab hog dogger, be equivalent to an 18-inch long ciggy. And they're back there smoking, and it's like Winston tastes good. like a cigarette should, right? That's off the top of my head too. I mean, I know about these things, but these are what we just talking about was symbolic interactionism. It's just, and they believe in this. So whether or not you think Marxism, because right before I mentioned the symbolic interactionism, we were talking about conflict theory, which is Marxism. You know, that there's going to be a fractured society where everybody's going to feel this way. So we need to have the good ones rise to the top to be in power of all these things. Oh, what a meritocracy. You don't really find that either. Oh, no, and I'm not hearing you. Is it because of me? Hang on. Let me check some things out, man. This may be me. Have y'all been able to talk this whole time? Oh, yep. My goodness gracious.
Yep, we've been able to hear each other, so I don't know what it is. Just haven't been coming over.
It's rigged.
I can see y'all moving right now, so that means you can. Okay, hang on. I'll figure this out. Watch this.
Dun 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 dun.
Are you there, boys? Yeah.
Well, that was a bit strange. Well,
anything?
I'm not sure.
I will be right back. I might have to restart this. I'll try to restart it and see what happens from there.
Well, slap me in the face and call me a 2 cent.
Okay, 2 cent. Looks like we're out here without Ogre for a few moments. So, hey guys, just enjoy us too. What have you got? Anyway, what's going on with you anyway, First Ranker?
Oh, I'm fine. I've been just out in the woods all weekend, and then I had to do some things with the embassies, and mate, I just bloody despise bureaucracy.
Now I can hear you. How long were y'all talking that I didn't know that y'all had vocals?
About 5. Yeah.
I'm working on it. It's hard to do the whole producing and the whole 9 yards thing. So what did I miss?
Nothing really. We're just trying to get your attention, but it didn't work because.
Yeah, well, y'all heard everything I had to say and then some. So you know what I mean. You can respond to it any way you see fit.
Yeah, we even tried saying the "yo mama" jokes, but it didn't work.
Sorry. Sincerely, I'm sorry.
Hey, no problem.
I mean, when you're trying to fill air, I mean, you can hopefully, because I didn't know y'all could speak then. So when you're trying to fill air and you're wondering, it is a bit of like, well, I've got to ramble now. I don't have anything ready to say. So I hope that I get some marks for. There was no more than about 5-10 seconds of silence tops, because that starts getting cringy. I don't care what you're listening to. There's more than 5 seconds. That's a long time. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. I was speaking. If there's nothing for that long, it's like, did everybody die?
The entire internet suffered a heart attack, and no one ever knew.
It did.
Yeah. So what do y'all think about this? Am I crazy? I had my references up, broke it down from. I could go back further, but broke it down from pretty much Aleister Crowley all the way to modern times with the Bohemian Grove. So, I mean, what do y'all think?
Well,
you can break it back even. Oh, sorry, you go first, Ranker. You go first.
Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't sound stupid. It sounds coherent. I think the thing that confused me the most was that I had no idea that there was a connection between Masonry, Freemasonry, Satanism, and the Illuminati. I haven't read up on the subject at all. It's just something I didn't know.
Well, according to them, there is. According to them, there is a definite connection. That's why they call themselves. I just tied it in. Lucifer, illuminated, luminescence, enlightened. Even comes from that root word, and they say they follow Lucifer, who is the illuminated, enlightened one. And that's from them. Like I said, I'm not saying that he's real or anything. I'm just saying that this is what these people say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and you can look at it like, I mean, who are you questioning? Aleister Crowley, he mentions Lucifer many, many, many times. Elena Blavatsky, Manly P. Hall. I mean, any of the ones that I brought up today, they all, including coming right down to the Bohemian Grove, they all go back to Luciferian worship. That's just the way it is.
Then is that from the standpoint that Lucifer is evil, or that Lucifer is actually the good guy?
On their side, that he was the good guy, misunderstood, and should have, he was just overpowered, but his ideas were the best. That's the whole. I mean, can't you see how that fits in with Antifa? Because I would say they're on the crazy side just from a human standpoint, but not according to them. They're the ones that are the enlightened ones. We don't know better. They know when to use actual physical. People would point to this car thing in Charlottesville, but the fact of the matter is, that's the people that were there, they weren't saying that we have the right to use physical force, to use corporal punishment and physical aggression against anybody, not even the Nazis. So when they were busting Trump down and saying, oh, he said they were both the same, well, I would say, no, they're not both the same. Because even the Nazis or the KKK or whoever I'm Jewish, so y'all can suck my dick if you're trying to say I'm a alt-right. Kiss my ass. I'm just saying, if you look at it realistically, one of those groups came there with the intention to, we are going to use force. They say it. It's just like this with the Illuminati. Yvette Farrakha says, oh, it was self-defense when I was punching that guy in the ribs. It was self-defense. When I just was like, get off our streets, you fucking Nazi, and started hitting him. It was self-defense. Even though that person was like, had his hands up. I mean, it got drugged to the ground and stomped by anti-fascists. I don't know if they don't have access to the freaking internet or what, but if you look at, there are some old tapes out there, and you can see, even though they're grainy, that's what the fascists did. That's what the Nazis did. They went and beat people up that didn't just get in line.
Yeah. And Mr. George Soros, is he Illuminatus?
You know what? I don't say there's any connection there unless RPR knows.
I think he may be inherent, because his parents actually disguised his identity back when he was a teenager in order for him to escape the persecution of the Nazis. So this is what I think is really sick about the guy: the fact that he was selling out his own people while taking their money, basically, while saving his own bacon. Sorry about the bacon reference, by the way.
No, I love bacon whenever it's made out of turkey. But the thing of it is you hit the nail on the head. And I just got like up one side and down the other from the logical lion. But no, it's, he was like, prove it. George Soros says with his own mouth that he turned people in to protect himself, and that that he didn't care, that he said, the way he put it is by the age of 12, I was very pragmatic. And they talked about how if he had to do it over again, yeah, he would turn those people in to save his own self. And I mean, he's $100 billion. So when you think about that, if you were to pump $1 billion into anything in this country, which is one of the wealthiest in the United States, you got a lot of action going on there, and it's all over, man. People that don't see it, I don't know what to say.
Is Mr. George Soros against the nation state as a concept? Does he just want to?
Yeah, he wants a world government, not a nation state.
Oh yeah, he's one of the pro-founders of the New World Order. Even though the idea of the New World Order was put into place back in the 17th century, actually, if my memory serves me right, and the first American bank collapse back in 1906, was it, Ogre? Something like that. That's part of the orchestration for trying to bring in the New World Order.
That was a mini collapse in 96 to 98. Yeah, somewhere.
Okay, so, and does that include the Jewish state of Israel?
pass. I'd have to look up on that one a little bit. As I said, my biggest backer is still in the bloody chat, and he should be up here with us.
Yeah, I want the Gundam pilot to get to FN here. I was really hoping to have him, and it's not just because y'all are British and my British boys just can't make it today. It's just the way it is too. It's like the Common Sense guy. His and you notice I didn't mock him about Common Sense Caracal because I miss him already. But the Common Sense guy's off with he's got to take his missus to work or some odd stuff. They got 2 vehicles, but her vehicle's in the garage. The garage. How you say it, dude? Garage.
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 You say it like Farage.
Garage.
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 I thought it was garage. But anyway, I will work on it. He's in his wife's car's in the garage.
Yeah, it's garage.
So I mean, you know, I'm down him. I'm not even going to tease him, man. I just miss him, and that's not why I want the Warlock in here. I still think it was Gundam Pilot, but because you know I like the conspiracy theory aspect of it, and it is good. You mentioned that he may have a little bit something to say, you know, on those lines.
Oh, the guy is shit hot on it. You know, he's got lots of bloody evidence as well. Oh, what's it saying? Oh, his mic is wanked. All I can say to that, Warlock, is it doesn't affect us when we're actually doing Hangout together, mate. Get in here.
Oh, if his mic's, yeah, just we'll give it a swing. I mean, if he's got anything, if you can hear him when he's got anything, just bring it in. I've got a control too. You know how it is, bro. I can crank you right now. You'll see it'll say like RPR cranked. You know, like just I turned you up. Yeah. I mean, I have that deal anyway. So we've had folks on before that. I think he was on. He was robot a little bit. But if it's a little bit, and people are, because to me, it's people either pay attention or they don't. So if they're not paying attention, well, if you miss one word out of 12. Not so bad, because I can't understand a fucking thing first ranker says.
Oh, no, I can understand first rank.
I was only teasing, but he does have an accent, a thick accent, right? You got to pay attention.
For the last time, I am Swedish.
It's kind of what I was going for. Do y'all eat meatballs for real, or is that just some BS? There he is. Welcome, Gundam Pilot.
Oh, can you hear me properly? That's the thing.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. Oh, that's good. That's right.
You gotta.
Let me just knock Twitter off. That might help as well.
Right. Or maybe you have the chat on. If you mute also what you're watching when you were watching that. Oh, you probably already did it.
Yeah, I've just done that. I've just knocked YouTube off.
Yes, perfect. Now, if you want to watch the chat, all you do is bring it back up and either pause it or mute it. Either way, you can see the chat. You know what I mean? And it won't echo back in here. They're way off us. They're like, when we talk right now, you probably know you've been on the show before. I just remember I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So when I would, you know, it's like Gundam Pilot and then Warlock. Yeah, they remind me a lot of each other, man. Those cats are a lot like what? Come on, find out, same motherfucking people, same people.
I use different names because I get picked on a lot by trolls, and it's because of what I show. Basically, it's well, the NASA seems to do an awful lot of lying, and I find that a lot of this is connected. It's what you were talking about 25 minutes ago, to do with Crowley, the New World Order, all of these different people that are.
What am I crazy? Or give us your take on it. Take your time too.
Books, yeah, the people who wrote these books, like Pike and all the rest of it. All of these things, and it's like what you said about Disney. It all seems to me that we're being we're being lied to the point where it's just absolute lunacy, where you can actually see that they push this thing about Egyptian pyramids on Mars and all of these things, and this is all going back to what the old world order and what they try to write into the history books, basically, to make you think these things. I don't believe one thing that really NASA shows, and the amount of psyops that are going on as well. I see quite a lot of strange things in the skies in Wales, where I live, and it's well, I can't say to you that it's alien, but to me it looks quite man-made. I see eyes in the sky, and these things are perfect. They're not. It's not something that you wouldn't notice. You know, you look up at the sky and you go, fucking hell, that's an eye. And the cloud, it'd be in the cloud. I got photo after photo after photo of these events, these weird things that have been going on. I'm just wondering what the fuck is what is happening? You know what I mean? What's going on? Why are there all these weird things happening? Why are they manipulating?
Well, don't be shy. If you have an opinion, tell us what you think may be happening. You dig it? In other words, you know, I'm kicking my mic back and forth from hot to not hot. But so as far as, because I appreciate that you see where I was coming from, but what I'm asking you is, am I crazy? What could possibly be the?
No, 100%. No, 100%. You are not crazy. There is something going on, and it's been coming for quite some time. I've noticed a lot of strange things, a lot of false flags. We've all been and seen, you know, on YouTube. We've all heard about all these false flags that have been happening, and I just wonder whether this is a push. All of this crap that we're being filled with is a push for this new world order thing. I'm just wondering about that. This is why I'm getting back to, like,
so a new world order,
the fall of the old world order, because the old world order is dying off, as we know now.
Well, if you can as quickly as you can, which means you look. Hang on now, Gundam. Just slow down for a second. So as you know, as succinctly as you can, take your time. I believe that the panel here won't cut you off. Tell me what would be the difference between the old world order? What do you mean by that old world order and new world order?
The old world order is Crowley's law. That's the Crowley thing, the Albert Pike thing, and all the rest of it. Now you've got all of these, you know, well, how can I put it? The rich business people that are all involved in Bohemian Grove and all the rest of it. I know about is it the Bilderberg meetings that they have, or Bilderberg or whatever they call it?
Bilderberg.
Yes, Bilderberg.
Right. Well, I know that they discuss a lot of things behind our backs, and they make decisions. You know what I mean? There are decisions made by rich people that affect us, and we don't even get to hear about it. It's what I'm saying. The things like weather manipulation. The fact, and people, I've been trolled for saying it. Chemtrails, all of these different things.
Aluminum dioxide, chemtrails, you mean? Like aluminum dioxide?
Yeah, but I see it so
aluminium
in my sky, and I'm literally, you know, where I live it's a quiet area. It's not somewhere where you would think that you would see 100 to 200 lines in the sky within 3 to 4 hours. You know what I mean? It's not. In the past few years, it's got worse and worse and worse. And this is all I'm seeing is chemtrails everywhere, and they're not contrails because they're too low. And I've looked for answers, and I don't. Everywhere I go for answers on the net, or whether it's to somebody who thinks that they know something about it, I never ever seem to get the answer.
Well, it's not just low, mate. With the chemtrails, it's not just low. It's they don't go away. They form clouds. They're cloud seeding.
Yeah.
You know, this CERN and all this stuff. I mean, the HARP, I should have said, and all that. I mean, I don't know what you know about HARP, but that's all.
I know about HARP. That's the facility they have up. Is it Alaska or something like that? They had in Alaska.
Yes,
Those all bounced up at the ionosphere. Yeah, they bounced the. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Yeah.
Radio waves trying to control the weather. And what do they do? Can they? Absolutely. Can they like make it rain? No, but they can manipulate it. And I believe that's what they're doing with. I think they're doing two things with chemtrails, in my personal opinion. One is with that aluminum dioxide falling out of the sky, that aluminium falls down to the ground eventually, and it does hurt the soil. But when the aluminium, I'm sorry, I just keep knocking. When that's up in the sky, it does seed the clouds, and it does help particles to condense around them. They are particles, and it does help it rain. And I mean, you see them; they stay in the sky for hours. That's
I've heard that. I've heard that. I've also heard though that the aluminum particles are used for solar radiation management as well. I've heard that. Where there's a lot of theories on it.
Reflecting the sun back when we should have a sunny day. We're not getting all the sun through.
Exactly. Well, once upon a time, I remember when skies were deep blue. Deep blue. And now
look like water up there almost,
cream.
right?
Like cream all the time. Yeah.
You never see that anymore, hardly, man. Ever you see that deep, like water, like you're looking at another ocean up there. It's kind of like a hazy green, like there's yellow in it.
Can I post something? I want people to just.
For anybody on the panel, if you put anything in the side chat, I can either screen share it, I can play audio or video, anything that you want played. Just pop it in there, Gundam or anybody else.
What it is you won't be able to play it on the channel because of the copyright bullshit that YouTube throws. I don't want you getting a strike for playing some music. You know
what I mean? Side chat, right? I'll put it here.
So I'll whack it in the side chat, and people who are in the side chat, I want you to go and look at it because I spent nearly 6-7 years of my life now researching and wandering around mountains, taking photographs of clouds that clearly are not clouds. And people, I just sometimes it's beggars belief what I'm seeing. I just look and I'm just thinking. And people, what's the term they use? There's a term for it. People, it was coined by the CIA when people see faces on everything. There's a term for it that they coined, as well as conspiracy.
Astral projection is the only thing that's coming to mind.
That's not it. Something along them lines. But they make out that people who see faces on clouds have got mental issues and things like that. And the reality of it is I've got photographs that show it. You know what I mean? Actually show it, and to me it's. Well, I just don't know what to say. I can't say whether it's man-made or I can't say whether it's something from up there. You know what I mean?
Did you see where there was like in China they had a whole
the city, But
and then they didn't even say it wasn't real. They were just like, oh yeah, that was like a reflection from something.
I just don't. I think there's a lot of that holographic sort of crap going on. They're experimenting with all sorts of shit. To be honest with you, with regards to that, but I just wonder that some days I'm stood in a field with my dog. I've just got my mobile phone camera with me, and I'm stood watching the sun going down, and all of a sudden there's these huge black clouds just appear from nowhere, and they come along like snakes, and they go right in front of the sun. And they just stay there until the sun just goes down, just enough, and then they dissipate. And this has been happening now for about 3 or 4 years, and it's the same thing. And it's if you watch things often enough, you see patterns in things. You know what I mean? You can see a pattern in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
yes.
You know what I mean? And like I was saying, the planes. The amount of planes that, and I say it like this: where me and RPR live, we do live under a flight path, right? So we've got like,
and it's also
right.
Yeah,
so
can I cut in here a second?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Right. The other thing I've also noticed about the flight path over where we live is the complete reduction of military training flight patterns. They have dropped off within the last 5 years. We'll probably see a training mission go over once every 9 months now, whereas back in 1993 we were seeing them weekly.
Let's get this through.
Why the military have backed out of doing training programs around here is a really strange thing, because I think, Ogre, you've seen what type of terrain there is around where we live.
Yes. Hilly, rolling hills, rugged.
Yes. Perfect for low altitude missions. Perfect.
It is.
And the military have pulled out of
the terrain, and now they don't. They just. It's like it's a no-go area. And I've seen plane. I'm not trying to make everything seem all alien and all the rest. I'm just trying to help you as best as I can explain, to explain to you what I see. and I've seen planes take evasive action when coming near these cloud banks and the different things that I've been spotting, and they've actually avoided. Most pilots wouldn't even give two hoots.
Well, could another aircraft be in that cloud cover that you don't see?
Possibly.
Could we possibly have even another, just to go, because you know, with the extraterrestrial thing? So could it possibly be that we may even have some kind of cloaking technology by now? I've heard it whispered about for 10 years.
I've seen enough shit to know that there is cloaking technology. It's not what people make it out to be, though. With it, where it's all completely, you know, predator style.
No.
It's similar. You know what I mean?
But if you have a plane that's, but now you have a plane that's a mile in the sky. Big, you know, that's easy to. You wouldn't have to reflect exact things around you. Somebody's got to echo. You're killing it. Boom. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Nope. Oh. There we go. It's gone. Yes. Well, so anyways, it doesn't have to be that precise. You know, if it's the plane, it's so far away, it could just be a. I mean, when you think of the chameleon, and believe, I mean, come on, anybody don't think. But look, I don't want to interrupt this. I just realized, the Britisher just told me he's laying on the couch listening to this, man. So I've got to play at least devil's advocate, as crazy as I want to get. I've got to be. The Britisher's not here. I have to play his part as best I can. So, do you think there's any evidence? I think he might ask like something like this. Do you think there's any evidence for there being some kind of extraterrestrial influence in that, you know, aspect?
I can't really say to you straight up like that. Yeah, there's aliens and blah blah blah. I know that I've seen enough crap in the NASA images, and I know for what I've seen in NASA images is, well, you just go to the channel and see it for yourself. It's up to you if you want to believe what they're showing you. You know what I mean? When I know that satellites do not orbit planets by going from pole over pole over pole, because if they did it that way, because they show you the imagery, it's stretched. They re-stretched the imagery. All the series stuff has been re-stretched. So what they're showing you are images that have been fiddled. If you re-stretch these images and you push them back and you recompress them, you'll start to see structure, you'll start to see craft, you'll start to see all sorts of weird things. And it's, well, it's like I said, it's that if you want to believe that there are aliens, I can't say to you, I'm not the sort of person who's going to say, yeah, there definitely are aliens. You should believe in it, and you should believe what NASA is putting out. All I'm doing is just showing what I'm finding.
You keep saying NASA. So what do you think about NASA? I mean, you said you can't do anything they said. Well, I mean, why not? What's their agenda, if any?
Well, I don't think there is an agenda. If there is alien life, to be honest with you, look at the world that we live on now currently. It's, you know, where if it's flat, if it's round, that's whatever you want to believe. I'm not interested in that. I'm happy with it. Just, you know, I'm just happy knowing that I've got mud under my feet. Like, so, you know, it's I think they try to show you certain things, and but they can't just come out with it because of what. Well, I think it would cause a lot of chaos in the world. I think there would be a lot of people that would be angry, obviously, that people had, you know, kept.
Wait, hang on. So I don't want anybody to misunderstand you, and I'm not quite following. You mean that the world is flat, or that there is some kind of?
No, I'm not saying the world is flat. Ogre. What I'm saying is my point with that is I'm not interested whether the Earth is flat or whether it's round.
Right. So I want you to make it very clear. So you're saying that there may be some kind of alien communication with us, but they don't want everyone to panic, so they're not making it, you know, public.
Yeah, basically, yeah. There were think tanks and things back in the 1960s in the States that discussed all that.
Has that changed our society in any way, do you think?
Well, I think some people would have time dealing with it. I think it would, if you know, I don't think I hear a lot of this stuff people, people say, it's like I hear from Christians. Christians will say, "Oh, aliens are demons," and then you've got the jinn thing, and then you've got this, and you've got that. And the truth is that nobody really knows, do we? We don't really know unless they're going to land on the on the lawn as such. You know what I mean? Nobody will know until then. But all of these people's opinions, I think what it is that it would. I think with it may well cause war. You don't know. You know what I mean? It could get to that point where people are just going at each other because a race of people have just turned up here. You know what I mean? They've got. I think what it is they've got to play it carefully. But
I see that as something that might unify humanity.
Well, yeah, it could. Yeah, I agree with that as well. But it could. It's like it could go both ways. You know what I mean? It could go both ways. Some people could be quite angered by it, and some people would be overjoyed by it. So but I can't give this, like, I can't give an answer really on that, because it's like how I said, for me it's about what I'm seeing, what I'm finding, and for me it's not about. So do you think,
because we're kind of bouncing over here a little bit, and I think it's because you have a lot of stuff in there that you want to get out. And so how would the aliens, if at all, how would they tie into any kind of Illuminati agenda?
Well, I don't know, really, to be honest with you. I noticed that there's been a lot of like grey alien face stuff that's been used on YouTube, and these so-called pretend Illuminati type people that think they're illuminated and all the rest of it, that put these channels up. But
yeah, because do you think that all the celebrities, they're doing all this stuff and they're making all the signs and stuff? Do you think that they're all really in the Illuminati, like Jay-Z and whatnot, or do you think?
No, I think that's just a moneymaker. I think that's a big moneymaker. They should jump about. It's a bandwagon, I think.
So all this stuff. If I do this, that doesn't mean that I'm saying 666 and Mark of the Beast and the whole left eye thing, or some little.
I can't vote for Jay-Z and all the rest.
Will that make my channel big, sir? If I'm like do the Illuminati eye or something?
Maybe if you get like one of those pyramids, you get one of those a flag with pyramids.
Well,
and
my penis, maybe give me an erection. If no, I just no. Go ahead. I would just wonder. I want to see where it ties in with the aliens, though. No joke. If you think, don't worry about. We're not trying to prove anything. This is a free stream.
For me, it's not about me trying to prove to you that there are aliens. It's not about that. This is not why I do what I do with my channel. I do what I do with my channel, or all I'm doing it for is just to show you that there is something going on. And I can't say to you, I'm not a qualified scientist, and I'm certainly not qualified enough for me to to stand there and say, well, that's definitely an alien thing, or that's man-made. I can't do it because I don't know enough about the technology in general, even our technology, with regards to like what we were talking about earlier with regards to cloud seeding and things like that. It's that type of thing. But I just I don't know whether I just put something up in the chat now. So I don't know whether.
All right. Oh, you're putting it out there in that chat. I'm looking in the side chat. So when I say side chat, I mean like where we're at, but it don't really matter.
Oh, hang on, I'll put it in there.
This is words fall short. That's what you sent out there. Oh, this is your chat.
I'll do it for you now, mate. I'll do it for you now.
Man, has anyone noticed that they changed the freaking bloody format today on YouTube? They changed it.
Yeah, it's really disorienting. Everything's flipped.
And look, your comments are disabled. Did you do that?
Who?
Warlock.
No, I didn't do that.
Comments are disabled for the video you sent. I'm looking at it right now.
No, that's because it got trolled. I have a lot of problem with trolls.
Oh, okay. Well, if you did it, fine. So be it. I mean, I'm not against that.
I've done it to every single. I've had to do it to every single video because because of what I find, it seems to attract.
Look at all you boys, and the funny thing is you boys are here. Look at the stream from TheBritishers when we were on his channel, and I was acting as a moderator, kind of like, I don't know what I want to say, like a foreman, right? I was like a foreman, and you boys were working. And I know even RPR told me, it was like, well, it was fine, mate. And it was great, you know, but I missed the stream because we're looking at that so intensely. And I missed the stream too. Y'all know me, man. I never shut up. You probably want me to shut up now. And I didn't say much when Sargon was on. We were working, man, right off the bat. Somebody's like, hey, if that bearded guy is never, is there, how do you say? It was like, if there's anything I can ever do to get that bearded guy to never be on another stream again, I would do it. And then later on, I was like, in these conversation-driven streams, there's just no place for that bearded faggot, that bearded fat faggot with the stupid sunglasses. You know what I think happened, boys? And I mean, I'm not even kidding. Here's a conspiracy theory for you. I think that you boys, like, he was one of those ones, because y'all seen it. Once y'all warned somebody twice, I would be, because later on he was like, yeah, that was the dickhead that was proselytizing about who he would kick out and who he would not. And so, I mean, because y'all would, if y'all warned somebody twice, and you know what I mean, we were cool, man. You could say whatever you wanted, you know, just don't like blatantly call people, you know, do the mama jokes, but for real, not just some. Anyway, I think that's what it was. We hit them, and I probably got down to saying that. They were like, man, I'm gonna focus my ire on it. Wow, that was off topic. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder. This is what I believe, though, Warlock. I got to call you Gundam. Is that okay, or is it's not?
I don't mind. I don't mind either way. Either name's all right. Doesn't matter.
Gundam is the one I like. That's how I know you. So look, Gundam. Way I see it is possibly the ones that these people follow are those aliens that we're talking about. Is that possible?
I think when you say that, that's where I will agree with you about that, because I've looked in the past about it. I've read up about Crowley and his cat creature friend that he had, and I don't know whether you've ever seen the picture of the being that he was supposedly speaking to. It looked like a grey alien. It had whiskers though. That's I'm not sure whether you've got an image you can show the people in the chat or not there, but that's sort of, you know, it sort of made me think, well, after seeing that image, I thought, well, that looks very suspicious. You know, it looks a little bit like a grey. So that's part of, well, you know, there's a lot of things you can take from it, but I got to say it, like, it does seem connected. And there's the Jack Parsons thing with NASA as well. Jack Parsons, as you know, was a complete Satanist. You know what I mean? So that's why I want to get back to NASA, what I'm saying about NASA. But this is the shit that I am seeing in my sky. Now, there is an eye in that cloud. You can see it. It is there. It is not. This is not a Photoshop image. I've even got the originals. I don't fuck about. I'm sorry for swearing, but I mean it. Like that is not.
So let me present this to everybody and help me. You can see the cursor right here, right? Is this the eye you're talking about right here?
Go along.
That's the eye.
Yeah, there's a. Ignore the little crappy little thing that's behind it, right? There's an right. Play it again. Over to the no. Go over. Down. No. Down. Right by there. You've got it right there. There's the eye. You're going round it now. I've got other images like that, and there is that much detail in the image that you can see teeth. And I'm talking about I don't know. You know when you look at
the teeth are down.
An Indian chief's head from this when he's wearing a full.
The teeth are down here in this area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see.
I was sat in my living room and I just looked out the window and that was right there in front of me. You know, it's and it didn't dissipate. This is what these are the.
So, with respect, how much LSD had you had on this particular day?
He doesn't do LSD.
Oh, I'm just curious.
I did used to do LSD, but
innocent question.
Well, the only question that stands is why is he so angry?
Why am I angry?
No, the alien face.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I get what you mean. Sorry, I don't know. It just does look a bit angry, to be honest with you, doesn't it? You know.
That's one thing that didn't cross your mind, didn't it?
The gods are displeased.
But that's not the only face. There's other videos in the Skywatch thing that I put out.
So we got like 45 minutes here, boys, and so I still want to know. I mean, and please clear your mind, take a deep breath, Gundam, and let me know what connection may they have, and what I mean, what's going on. Just and don't worry about references. Just tell me what you think.
Well, a lot of these names that come from the Masons. You spoke about Disney and things. There's Jack Parsons. There's all of these various people that have done things. Who was the guy who wrote the Scientology stuff? I can't remember his name.
L. Ron Hubbard.
That's the one. They were all friends, and I see it. You know what I'm saying about the NASA images?
J.R. Tolkien, L. Ron Hubbard, and what's his name? They wrote the Witch, the Lion, and the Wardrobe. Was also, they were all buddies. Yes.
But
that was Lewis. That was.
I just see there is a connection between all of these people and different organizations, not just NASA. There are other things that are involved, but I see NASA has got connections with the CIA and Disney as well, and these are things that I think about. It makes you think. Sit there wondering to yourself, well, am I living in a bloody fairy tale or something? You know, I mean, is this a man-made fairy tale, and they're just, trying to keep us, dumbed down?
Like Mandela effect, like different varying universes, colliding universes, or
possibly, yeah, something along those lines. I don't.
I got to get you back on here. I keep going in the direction with the aliens, but maybe this will be better. I mean, what if we're talking about like Bohemian Grove and Skull and Bones? All these different.
Can I ask you something?
Absolutely.
What do you think about the Anunnaki? And I'm not talking. I'm not asking you for an opinion on the shows that they have on TV, these bullshit shows that they have on Discovery Channel.
No, I'm fine with that question. I'm absolutely fine with that question.
Do you think that they existed? Do you think that these beings came to this world and did these things that so many people believe actually happened? You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of people out there that believe that.
No, to answer your question, no, I don't think they came to this world. I think they left this world. Right. I think the Anunnaki were what they call, I mean, that's one name for, I would call them, how about the antediluvians?
Yeah, I get, yeah.
Or the deluge. You probably know what I mean. So I would think they came for some.
Pre-Atlantis.
Pre-Atlantis, yes. And then when we say Atlantis was swallowed by the sea, that's talking about the great catastrophe. Whatever it may have been, flood was probably what it was. But I believe that those Anunnaki were the antediluvians, and they were far advanced. Because everybody's like, oh, we didn't find cars or trains. No, I think that they traveled possibly by thought, or they may have had stations where they honestly, like, beam me up, Scotty. Everybody's seen that, where they would like stand on a disc and say, and they went wherever it is they wanted to go at the speed of there. And so, yeah, I believe that the Anunnaki are real, but not everything about that mythos. And I think they have confused who they are. There you go.
I find that when I'm researching the Anunnaki thing, and this is in. It seems to me that this is in a lot of cultures, and a hell of a lot of cultures, and it's the bird. Now, you know what I'm talking about with the bird? The Anunnaki bird, man, with the head. Well, then if you look at the Sumerian bird, and then you look at Thoth, who you can depict as a birdman or a monkey, Then you look at Horus, and then you look at various different Egyptian deities. They've all got bird heads and all the rest of it. Well, I find a lot of this weird imagery, that sort of thing, in these NASA images. And some places that I've looked at, well, Ceres is one of them. I found well, it's not even a crater. It's a city, and it's got well, an ibis that's the correct term for what the bird is, the Egyptian bird, isn't it? The head of both is an ibis, isn't it? I think something like an ibis or something like that. But yeah,
An ibis.
Ibis, yeah. And
yeah. Ibis, which would be a busos. Yeah, the bus is what that means. It's just because he was like, you could go back to Cerberus. That particular god was the god of hell and damnation, as well as his other functions. So that's probably why it was the abyss, Abusos, or Ibis.
I found a city on series, and I had a good look at it, and as I was, you know, I mount the image on Google Earth and I tilt it round. I get different angles so I can check the picture, make sure it's being shot at the correct angle, and just correct it. And I found a city, and right in smack bang in the middle of the city is a gigantic ibis's head, and not far from there, and this is what makes me laugh about all of this stuff, is a rather large, well, falcon-shaped spacecraft. And
a phallic shape? What'd you say? What shaped?
Falcon.
Oh, falcon. I thought you said phallic.
No, not phallic.
You see what I'm thinking about right here.
Yeah, falcon shape.
I know what you're going to be up to later, Ogre.
You know, whatever. Sorry.
Pictures of penises on other planets.
I won't deny the power of the subconscious. So wait. So where do they find this? And look, we got to let everybody pipe up. I just see that again. I'm just going to tell you, we need to get together sometime where we plan something out a little bit, because you're. I mean, I'm going all over with you, and you have a lot of thoughts about a lot of different things that people would say conspiracy theory, but a lot of the things you're talking about so far are conspiracy facts, or at least conspiracy ideas. I don't know.
I can't tie it all together. The thing for me is I can't tie it all together. I've seen a lot of weird things. It's like what I just showed you now, the eye in the cloud thing. I've seen way more crazier things than that, and I've taken photographs of them. But I find that it's for people to see something that is real, and it's hard for people to digest it. It's hard for people. When I show them a photograph of a spaceship, they can't digest it. They can't say they turn to you and they go, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And so when NASA shows you a picture of something, everybody, and people know that NASA lie. Everybody knows that NASA tells lies, tells porkies, one way or the other, right? They are not, you know.
They've never been in outer space. They're in a fucking swimming pool, mate. Bloody swimming pool. Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, they're in space. No, Ogre, they are in space.
They're in some space. They're in a space, but they're in a swimming pool.
Right, no, but you know, it's a case of if I show something, I get shouted down for showing it, but yet NASA will show you a load of bullshit. And
a load of bullshit. They say, look, to the moon.
No matter what I show, it'll never be accepted by the scientific community that we.
They got to do one of two things. They have to say the Van Allen belt doesn't exist, or they went to the moon. They can't have it both ways. They have to say that space is bloody 500 Celsius below, or that, and because they say they got this suit on that is such a thin layer of fluid between them and the skin, so they 500 Celsius below. That means they could walk across Antarctica, no problem. They would be toasted. No way. If you were to go in outer space, as they claim it is, you'd be cooked like bacon on one side and frozen like a popsicle on the other. There's no
talking about radiation, do they, Ogre? You know that. They don't like talking about it.
It'd fry you, man. Microwave oven, they got nothing on it. Now, has anything been in outer space? I don't think so. There's probably a hard dome up there that they shot like hundreds and hundreds of nuclear weapons against in the 50s, and then the United States and Russia, and then realized no, we can't crack it, and so they came up with this big lie about Sputnik and monkeys and people in space. Give me a break. I don't buy it. I'll say this, Britisher and everybody else, it's like, they tell me, show me the proof of George Soros and him funding Media Matters and Black Lives Matter and frickin' Antifa. Well, that's obvious. You can see, not hard to find, because most of them say that's who gives us our money. And then it's like, oh, but we went to the moon. Show me the proof. I have the same thing to say. Show me the proof.
You know what? Every time I've looked at an Apollo image, and I'm not shitting you, I'm not a big fan of the Apollo missions. And you know, I've got to say it. Like I've seen dodgy, very, very dodgy. Well, you know, 1960s. Let's fiddle the photographs efforts by them, and they've done a lot of fiddling. I remember the Earthrise image. I don't know where a lot of people have seen it, but it's just Earth, you know. They would reckon they're in an orbiter or something.
That's a crock of crap. It's Photoshop.
You bring up the contrast, and you can see that there is a square.
The blocks
right
all around.
Yeah, like that, and they've taken a picture of the Earth and just stuck it on a moon image, and just gone. Well, we took a photo. But I see a lot of that back then is to do with this, the Cold War, the space race bullshit, and all the rest of it. And they were, you know, America and Russia were at each other's throats basically at that time.
It was a way to spend money, just like $40,000 hammers and $100,000 toilet seats. It was just another way for them to spend money. And let's forget about it. It could be round, it could be flat, there could be a moon, they could have went there or not. It don't matter. It doesn't take all the money they said it did.
I laugh at it all. I really do. I have to laugh at it all because when you really look at it all, and you weigh it up, you weigh it all up, you can just see that we are being taken for a fucking ride. You know what I mean? Totally and utterly. And there is no there's just no truth. We're not being given any truth about anything.
No, and I think that goes so far. That doesn't just stop at NASA. I mean, you look at they want you to think that right now the KKK is the biggest thing to fear in the United States when Antifa's out there 30,000 strong riding in the street, burning people's stuff down, tearing everything up. When Welcome to Hell in Hamburg, that was Welcome to Hell in Hamburg. Everybody remember that? And they want to tell you that we need to worry about white nationalism. Are you kidding me? It's the same thing.
That's what I mean. The planet seems to be going to shit. You know what I mean? Outright, like, well, communism has killed far more people. You know what I mean?
Far more people. Communism. Mao, they say, killed 100 million people.
I don't understand.
I mean, the Khmer Rouge and Pol Pot, that was bad, right? The Khmer Rouge and Pol Pot, but they only killed like 6 million people. I don't think it was that, maybe 3. Well, it was horrible. But then, I mean, you think of like Mao or Stalin. Oh my gracious, man. He's accredited up to around 80 million with famines, actual killing outright, a whole lot. I mean, communism is they, you know what the communists always say too? Nobody's killed any more people than them Christians. Look, I don't give a shit about Christians or any other named people. I am what I am. I don't want no names, labels like that. But the fact of the matter is, communism, man, horrific.
But it makes me laugh that they've got this idealism that they think is so great and it's going to work out. And everybody knows that communism doesn't bloody work. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. It never worked in Russia. Look at the state of Russia. You know what I mean? It fell to pieces.
Yeah, they had to quit it to make it. They had to quit communism. That's the reason why the commies, the Antifas and the commies, that's the reason they get along so well together. Antifa, communism, all these people, because they had this, even if they don't, and Muslims, even if they don't have, because commies ain't supposed to be gay or Christian, but Antifa is supposed to be all loving Islam and loving gays, and they're not supposed to have anything to do with it, they're commies. But the reason they like it is because their tactics are the same. If you don't think what we think, we'll cut your bloody head off.
Well, I've noticed there is a lot of that online. I've noticed you can't have an opinion anymore. You're not allowed to have an opinion. If you have an opinion and you say something like, well, I see, you know, you go on YouTube and you see the main page and you see transsexuals, you see gay people, you say, oh, they've all got their opinions and all the rest of it. Whoop-de-fucking-do. But you know, I see things like, if you're straight and you don't sleep with a transsexual, you're a bigot. You know, these headings on these videos and things, and I just see it as well. They're just trying to trigger people. You know what I mean? Trigger people and make people fucking more and more divided, more angry, because there's a lot of that going on, I think, as well. There's a lot of division that's being pushed. This YouTube thing with it all, everybody all of a sudden disappearing off YouTube to VidMe and all these other places. We're all like jumping shit right, left, and centre, and it's the division. It's this push for the division thing. It makes me laugh. The left they're just pathetic. You know what I mean? It's pathetic.
As I was saying to you the other night, Warlock, I'm with you on the opinion that VidMe actually might be just a cornerstone to push people from YouTube so they can monitor them.
Yeah. I tell Ogre now about what happened a few years ago. There was some company that showed up all of a sudden because a lot of the conspiracy lot to do with 9/11, all of a sudden we're all being picked on YouTube because there was this, and then there was this purge and people, there was trolling and blah blah blah, and we all saw the result. People were jumping from YouTube over to this other channel, this other hosting place, and uploading this stuff. Well, after about 2 to 3 months of this uploading site being there, it disappeared off the face of the earth. Funny that, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was set up by the CIA in order to get hold of names.
Yeah, get some people. Oh yeah,
I mean,
that happens all the time.
Way more.
It does. It happens all the time. Yeah, the Britisher, he was. It's going to be hard to relay everything, but he might have a question or two to ask you at another date, Gundam, and I'm sure he'll be here to do that. The Brit is here with me, not only because we're friends. I think that the fit is that I tend to be more loose in the amount of things that I will gather and use it for what I consider to be factual information. And the Britisher, he is a lot more rigid about what he will take into his ethos of knowledge. You see what I mean? And so some of the things that I may take in may fall underneath a pathos of knowledge, but that's okay. I mean, we should have both sides. That's why I like the side of the school that taught philosophy and psychology and sociology and intersectional feminism and all that stuff. It's unfortunate they taught intersectional feminism over there, but they did.
Well,
I had
YouTube, they just destroyed them.
Yeah, and I haven't heard. We'll keep hammering. I got $1 million for you too. What I want to do is, I will give you like £5 if you'll get a better microphone.
I'll try and get one now in the next week.
Because you sound good. I mean, I can hear you. Don't get me wrong. And if I didn't want to be cool, I'd take my hat off and I could hear you even a little bit better. But so my ears. I'm just. But that said, like a little boom. But I don't have my best mic out either.
I just got a little Logitech cam. That's all I got at the moment. I
ain't heard 2 words from the first ranker. We've got half hour left, boys. So we'll wrap it up. You know what I'll do in about a half hour. I'll want everybody that's still remaining and hanging on. So don't be shocked when I ask you to give your final words on whatever we've been talking about today. There'll be no time limit unless you go over 10 minutes. Nobody has so far. And a lot of people are like, oh, I could talk about this forever, and they find out that after 3 minutes, you pretty much said all you got to say about damn near anything. But whatever.
Come off it. Okay, you're lucky if you can get like 20 seconds out of me, mate.
Yeah, well, we've also had yourself and other people on that just like boom. I mean, Undoomed was on, and he made some little jokes about, well, I'm gonna not say, and you boys are gonna be so much more eloquent, but a lot of the times it's not the Britisher and I who have our 5-minute long sign-offs that we try to never stumble or say or if you haven't noticed, and we're trying to outdo the other one on who can give the best, most coherent afterthought possible. We got those people, and you have been one of them in the past. That's like what you have to say is honest to God, 5 sentences long, but what more can you do than make the point? RPR, what more can you do?
All over it. I've always been one of these people that can sum it up very quickly, and a lot of people go, You know, I don't like to fucking buttercream anything. I just like to say it as it is.
If people want to ask me any questions about what I find and how I find it, the comments are off, like I said, for a reason, and it's a good reason because I've taken a lot of flack for what I show. So if you do want to know anything, just send me a message through the, through the other thing. That's all you got to do, and I'll answer. I will answer. I'll tell if you want to know something, I'll tell you. It's it's quite easy. I just want people to be able to contact me and speak to me about it if they're interested in it. That's all. That's all I'm doing basically. Is I'm not trying to turn you on to the fact that aliens exist and all the rest of it. I'm just trying to show you that there is something strange going on. That's the only thing I really want. That's the reason why I set my channel up. That's the only reason, really. So there you go.
Well, this stream passed me by like a ghost train, if you may. I don't know the first thing about, you can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes, conspiracy theories. Well, I'm just gonna sign off with a little anecdote from the cold north, and that is that aerial drills have gone up, if anything, and our skies are quite deep blue. Maybe it's because Sweden is a bit darker, and that's why the skies are a bit deeper, but I haven't done any research on soil. I haven't looked at the clouds and taken sediment samples, so I wouldn't know if there's any chemicals to be found there. Maybe if someone could link me some proof, I'd start believing it, but until then, I'm going to remain skeptical on that. Yeah. As for the George Soros bit, whilst I am not 100% sure he's funding this new world order, I can surely say that he is a massive heiny, and if it were to surface that he does fund Antifa and those organizations, I wouldn't really be taken aback. I wouldn't be extremely surprised. Over to the next one.
Oh, is that me already?
It's you already.
Are we doing the wrap up? What, y'all just stepped on that's the end?
Well, are we doing a wrap up? I thought it was
I was listening to him and practicing my final song. I got like a lot of 5s or whatever it was that said I should play a song at the end. I'm going to play a song called Son of a Sailor by, what the hell's his name? The Coral Reefers, the Parrot Heads. Y'all don't know that too. Hang on, Jimmy Buffett is. I honest to God forgot his name. I know the song, but I forgot the guy's name. Y'all know who Jimmy Buffett is? No. Well, shit. Fuck y'all then. Americana.
It's one of those things, Ogre. As soon as I hear it, I'll probably go, "Yeah, that's fucking Jimmy Buffett," But
well, if he played it, when I do it, you'll be like, "Who the hell's that?"
Come on, yeah.
Oh no, but he did a lot of like Cheeseburger in Paradise, Margaritaville. Wasted Away Again in Margaritaville. He's kind of like a rocky, country-ish dude from the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. They call him it was Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefers. It's not a coral reef, Coral Reefers. Well, I think they he talks about smuggling pot and shit. So he was like country rap in its day. I don't know. Enough about that. Yeah, because I don't know. It's been good though. I was all worried. I haven't done this in a long time with TheBritisher, and what I think it is if somebody's really paranoid and you hang out with them a lot, it rubs off. And he's paranoid about paranoid about everything. really, Mr. Ogre, we shouldn't make, I mean, it's constant. And I was like, oh, come on, man, relax. And he's like, you know, and he is relaxed. When he's relaxed, he's paranoid. So is that English? Is that something that comes from the island y'all live on?
Well, it's pretty much, you know, something to question everything that comes our way. So that's always been the British thing.
Everything. Think about it. Overthink it.
Yeah, that's probably the British problem. We do tend to overthink a lot of things.
Yeah, man. I can't keep you unmuting this thing. I'm going to let y'all have the last part of the show, or I can go back into like a long diatribe about conspiracy theories. I got it. I got 10 hours of that shit in me easy.
We're going to save that for your 1,000 sub stream, Ogre. You know, you can have me, you can have Warlock, you can have the Brit, you can have the First Ranker, you can have Zero Cool, you can have the lot of us on that stream.
Yeah. Well, I will have to.
Sub.
There definitely will be Common Senseguy is going to do 12 hours. So when I say 24 hour, I'm not doing like Staggerson Jagz did. I probably won't be here I'll probably get about a 3 or 4 hour nap. I'm saying that now. And while I'm doing that, Common Senseguy will be hosting. He'll be chucking it up. In fact, I'm going to get with him. I don't know how long. He'll be here for 12 hours. So there will be a chunk where at least him and probably 1 or 2 others I'll mention when it happens. I already know who they are, but who will also like host little chunks of it. Where, yeah, I'll be there, but I'll be, you know, I don't know. I'll be doing life while I'm listening to it on my, you know, earbuds, my Bluetooth or whatever, and I'll be able to run in here and make any comment that I want. So there'll be at least myself and 3 other people will be doing it. But I thought it was a great idea. I mean, when Staggerson did that, and that dude, I mean, he'd already been up. Beard Varian came on 100 subs, came on like talked him into doing 24 hours. He was there the whole time too. Solid. Unreal.
Shit.
Yeah, that seemed to see it the way you said it. You appreciate what that means, because a lot of people are like 24 hours just sitting there talking or whatever. Yeah, go drive your car for 24 hours and see what you think. That's a long time to be up, just to be awake. Oh
yes, I've done a lot.
Yeah, I guess I've just got it's all over, man. Is it all over? I'm gonna go. I've got to go take a walk. So say something cool, and I'll be back in like 3 minutes at best.
Yeah. So we should. So should we actually hand this over to the First Ranker, since he's been pretty much quiet all night? But then again, so have I.
Well, I never really have anything good to say, do I?
En contraire.
Let's think here. We've been talking about conspiracies a lot. I want to know more about the Bohemian Grove, because I googled it, and then I found out the Bohemian Grove isn't actually in Bohemia, and it made me confused and angry and sad.
Yeah, it's a bit of an ironic thing. It's not actually in Europe, it's actually in America. It's a bit of a fucked up thing. Am I right on that one?
Well, how old is the Grove? It looks very old. I wouldn't say older than the states themselves, but pretty old.
Well, you say not older than the states, but you got to look at the landscape, and that landscape has probably been carved over thousands of years. So when you say it doesn't look as old as America, you know, there's a bit of a contradiction in itself.
Well, yeah. I mean, the owl and the stone formation, not the trees and the grove itself.
Well, there's a lot of people out there who might say natural formation. There may be some man-made manipulation into it, but the actual figurehead, I would probably say, oh, fucking hell, sorry, was, yeah, I'm going to actually go with the actual layout was probably natural. I'm not sure if Warlock can come in with anything else on that.
Much about Bohemian Grove, to be honest with you, because I haven't really done that. I know about it, but I haven't done any research on it. And it's
Yeah, and I'm the same on it. You know,
all I know. All I know is that Alex Jones decided to try and break into it, and they were in the middle of some sort of weird ceremony, and somebody filmed it, and I saw it on InfoWars, and you know, I just saw more shenanigans, more nonsense, more fucking madness going on. You know, that's basically what all I can say about it. I can't say much more than that because I don't know anything about it.
So the layperson can't go into Bohemian Grove without
technically speaking, anyone can go into it. It's just not through the front gates.
Okay.
And I think Alex Jones did actually go into it not via the front gates. That's why they fucking tried to roast him a bit on it.
But if you were to be spotted by these individuals, would you be escorted out, or?
Yeah, you'd be escorted straight out. They won't. You've got to be. It's exclusive. You've got to be part.
No, man, they use you for a human sacrifice.
Yeah, you know, you end up in a pot or something. You know.
I'll have you shot for interrupting our ceremonies.
Well, it probably wouldn't even be as humanized as that. It'd be unga baba, unga. Sorry.
All I remember is from what I saw when the Alex Jones thing was loads of people all making wailing noises and screaming and rolling around on the floor half naked, and then some weird. They were all stood around this giant owl statue, and this is what I thought it was comical, to be honest with you. But, you know, it isn't comical because they obviously believe in this fucking bullshit. And they all stood around it, and there was some guy, it sounded like it was being shouted to a bullhorn or some crap like that, telling them, worship me, blah, 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 and all the rest of it. And I was just, you know, that's the only thing that I can actually say that I took from that Alex Jones thing when I saw it on there. It was quite strange to see all that, to be honest with you. But you know, I know Masons. There's a Masons place not far from where me and RPR live, in the middle of the town, and it's very secretive. It's in an alleyway, and they keep themselves to themselves. So you
know. Speaking of Masons, I don't know how it is. First off, it's a bit of an echo. There we go. Yeah, I don't know how it is if masonry is a worldwide thing, but in Sweden you'll need a recommendation from 2 masons and then some other diddlings in order to get into their organization. And a guy told me he was a mason, and he said, "Yeah, I mean." If you know someone else, I could, you know, if you know another Mason who would like you to join, then, you know, consider me one of them. And
all the secret thing you need to know is written in stone.
Well, you're gonna have to cover me for a few moments anyway, because I've got to like pop out a second.
Oh, that's okay. We're at the end, folks. We really are. I've let y'all run wild for a minute, and it's obvious that y'all suck. No. Just kidding. Y'all actually are doing pretty good. It's hard. I mean, it's like I think a lot of folks watch a live stream with people that really want to have a good live stream, and it's honestly nobody that's on the panel right now, I don't think. And they're like, oh, it's just a bunch of people get together and talk. Well, yeah, if you want to see that, go watch who is it, Worskies or somebody. And yeah, they just sit around and talk like a bunch of morons on the couch. But if you really want to like talk about shit, I don't care how crazy it is either. It could be about Illuminati, we were talking about today, or whatever. If you want to be cogent and understandable, it does take a little bit of something. And all y'all got it in spades. No, as soon as I left, it fell apart. I'm missing TheBritisher, man. He's like, man, he's my right hand man. And then without even the Common Sense guy, I mean, you know, he's kind of important. I don't want to give him too much credit. but he's fairly important. But damn, man, no Britisher. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Oh, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it. We did make it for 2 hours and 20 minutes as I talk shit on y'all who helped me make it this far. Thank you so much for showing up, y'all. I mean, honest, been great, man. No especiallys, but RPR always gets the best people. And yes, I'm going to compare Gundam Pilot with Undoomed RPR. Yeah, because I think if I could really get this guy on a couple more times and get him loosened up and not worried about, you know, oh, this is what I think, and not giving no, you know, whatever. He's got some, he knows some shit.
You reckon?
I think so, yeah. It sounded like he knows a little bit about, you know, they just want to put their head in the sand. So that's it. Let's do it this way. Let's go first ranker, Gundam Pilot, RPR, and then myself, and we'll close it out. I don't know if y'all got much more else. I'm about done in, and it's been a great stream. We can give our last thoughts. Y'all know the rules, right? Don't matter what it's about. You got up to 10 minutes to say whatever you want to say, first ranker.
Well, let's just say that this stream has been a little bit of a chin stroker. There's a lot of new information that I've never really explored before. I mean, I've never talked about something this, if you excuse my using of the word vague before, because even though it makes sense when I have it re-spoken in my brain, I still, you know, can't really understand it. Maybe I'll have to read some more on it, or perhaps maybe this line of thinking isn't one for me. I'll end it there. Sorry, I don't really have anything better to come with.
I do believe you're up next, Warlock.
Oh, that's it? That's it? That's good. That's good. That's fine. You say whatever you want.
Let me think. I just think people, you ought to just don't trust everything your government tells you is basically one thing. I know that much. And, well, just keep in mind that we could be being psyoped. We could be being, you know, it could be all real for all I know. I can't say. I don't, you know, like I said earlier on, I'm just a guy who sees these things and these images, and I just present them to the public, and that's it. And it's for you to make your mind up yourselves. You know what I mean? It's not about me trying to say to you it's all real, because the fact is that it could be a psyop. It could be something that's being pushed, an agenda, something along those lines. We don't know. You know what I mean? When you're treading in those, in that area of the conspiracy, you know, conspiracy land, you've got to tread lightly, because it's just, well, it's just a mess. They've made everything to do with space a complete mess, and it seems to me that there's a reason behind it. There's a reason why they're not letting us see things properly. They're presenting us with paintings. They're doing all sorts of things, like what Ogre said about certain ISS feeds and things like that, you know, being underwater, things like that. They've been caught out, and they have been caught out. So, you know, you've got to make your mind up whether you want to trust a bent organization, which has got ties to, you know, satanic organizations. And, you know, what he's saying, you just got to make your minds up for yourselves. And that's what I'm trying to show you people. That's all I can do is just show you. I can't tell you what, like I said, I can't tell you to believe it. You've just got to make up your own mind for yourself. And the other thing is this, like I was saying, it's hard for somebody to believe something that I show unless they're stood right next to me when I'm taking the photograph. That's the other thing. People, you know, people will always say, well, I can't believe it. I understand that you have to be there when you see these things. That's the thing, and you know. Well, like I said, all I can do is I can just present what I see, and I just hope you enjoy the content on the channel and you learn that there is something a bit different going on. You know, it's a bit strange. So that's about it, really. At the moment, that's all I can really come up with.
Okay. Right, I will end up my little piece with pretty much everything else everyone else has said. Anything you've heard tonight, try and look it up as much as possible. Don't take our words for what we've said.
I just say one more thing.
This time, but next time, Gundam, no shit. Next time, say it when it's your chance, because we let everybody say what they get their piece with no part. So go ahead and then hit it, RPR.
It's only 2 seconds. Research things like Bluebeam. Okay, Bluebeam. Search these things. Bluebeam. I'll give you one name. Bluebeam.
Spell it, because I can't understand I can't understand that word.
Blue, just blue color.
Blue.
Beam. Beam as in torch beam.
Okay, blue beam. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Look into it.
All right, it's cool. You're new to the end panel, but from now on, we really, honest to God, man, we do not. When it goes to this last thing, it's almost sacred in church, isn't it, RPR? You know it. It's almost sacred. Someone starts going, we just let them say their piece, and unless it's like if somebody's struggling to try to think of a word or something, to pop in and say, oh, it's the Queen of England or whatever, to help them that way is one thing, but we don't. Go ahead, RPR, and we'll cancel this out. Thank you so much for that input too, brother. It's no big deal. I mean, it's like the end of the world. Nobody's gonna kick you out, but that is the way we do it at the end.
Anyway, as I was saying, basically everything you've heard tonight, go ahead, do your research. Don't take everything what we say as biblical. At the end of the day, try if you want to, which is a very good thing on my perspective. Try and debunk anything that you find, and then once you can't get to the point where you can't debunk it, then you know you've come across something that is similar to the truth, if it is not the truth. And my opinion, the Anunnaki, they were here before us. They went away, and they're not ready to come back yet. And that's my end piece. Over to you, Ogre.
Oh, it was so marvelous to have you all on here. Mine's going to be pretty short because I was asked to play a song, and so I'm going to do that. And probably end it with that. The number one thing a human being can do, I think that everyone here that has an alternative opinion, hopefully we can stick with that. And I know if my voice sounds quiet, it's because I got it on concert mode, so whenever I start playing my guitar, it's not just all creamy loud. But we've all said the same thing. Do the research for yourself. If you have to, and you watch this just for shits and giggles, and you think maybe you want to look into it, I went in order, except I threw, I think, 2 out of order in timeline, but you can see all the information's there. For the people you could look into, they call themselves Illuminatists. Part of the Illuminati, not the, like we discussed here, not the, oh, look at me, I'm Jay-Z Illuminati. No, the real ones, the ones that are with the Georgia Guidestones and don't think there should be more than 500 million human beings on Earth. That means something like 606.5 billion have to go. I think that's close, 7.5, something like that. A lot got to go if you're going to go for that. So anyway, on that unhappy note, this is the end tune. It's going to be a song by the Mountain Goats. Everybody probably knew that. It's called A Song for an Old Friend. Garter snake crawls lazily through the tall, yellow-headed sour grass. There is cool, clear water in a tall, clean glass. The light hits the glass sideways and comes through the water tilted. I see the condensation on your hands. I feel the glaciers melting in a warm, soft wind. Oh, it covers up everything. On the day your love came screaming through me. You had oranges and lemons in a canvas bag beside you. 7 different kinds of light were welling up inside of you. You smeared citrus pulp all over me. Felt okay. My sweet home of Louisville's 1,000 miles away. And then a warm rush, it hits my mind. Oh, it's coming in from behind. On the day your love came screaming through me. Oh, in the fresh light of day, I felt something, oh, it slipped away. On the day your love came screaming through me. All right. Well, that's the Mountain Goats. Go check them out. You'll love them like I do. And remember, folks, be good to your friends. Be good to your family members. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, your loved one has done seems to be so huge, you'll never be able to forget about it. Because, constant viewer, panel, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and everything you know will depart from you.